It's been a while since I've been on camera, but hello! Hey guys, Nishquick here, and today, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Very hot topic lately for the past it's been a hot topic for a while, that's my point. Let's talk about it. There's a lot I want to talk about today. Leaks, misinformation, possibility of an announcement soon, inevitability of an announcement couple months, I don't know. There's a lot I've been thinking about relating to Nintendo Switch's successor, whatever it's called, and I just want to talk to you guys about that today. I hope it sparks a respectful conversation in the comments below. So, if you enjoy Nintendo, if you enjoy RPGs, if you enjoy games in general, especially Nintendo and RPGs, hit the like button. It will help me out tremendously as a small creator. And hit the subscribe button because you enjoy all those things, right? Nintendo RPGs like Xenoblade. So yeah, subscribe. That's what I talk about on the channel. So yeah, hope to see you around. Anyways, Switch 2. I've written some notes. Let's look into this stuff. Okay, inevitability. Inevitability means that there are people that I've been seeing around saying that the Switch 2 doesn't exist. The Switch 2 will never happen. Well, yeah, come back to this video in the year 2030 when this Nintendo Switch is still being sold. I know that's an over-exaggeration, and I know people, what they actually mean is that the Switch 2 doesn't exist now. It doesn't exist in our hands right now. It hasn't been announced yet. I won't feel or expect or believe anything until Nintendo announces it themselves. Understandable. But do you really think that there are no inside talks within the Kyoto office about the next Switch? Do you really think that they are not significantly and actively preparing for a launch of the new Switch? Many people have said this, many people have noticed this, that a lot of consoles don't go into their 7th year with very good sales like this. Like Player Essence has been talking about, the Switch has had the best 7th year of any console ever, because yeah, consoles don't go into their 7th year without having like a successor planned. But right now, the successor is planned, but it's like not in the limelight. It's not what people are talking about. You know what I mean, right? I'm telling a lot of people, I'm telling a lot of friends this, that if we get into 2024, like late into 2024, and we don't know anything about this, it's not that I'll be concerned because I'm enjoying my Switch, I'm enjoying the games on the Switch, but it's just gonna be a very big gap between Nintendo and whatever else is happening in games. That gap is just gonna be there, and I don't think it'll look very good. You know? Like, I still love Nintendo games, I love Tears of the Kingdom, I love Xenoblade. These games aren't at 60 FPS, these games aren't at 4K or whatever, but that age is gonna show, that it's gonna be more apparent, you know? I think an announcement is inevitable, I think it's going to happen relatively soon, but let's get to that a little later. Right now, let's talk about backwards compatibility, because this one is pretty funny. I wouldn't say funny, but I remember recently there was that graph, that new, like, the Nintendo accounts graph that was shown again in a Nintendo investor briefing, and it made headlines. Backwards compatibility confirmed. Backwards compatibility is happening because you can transfer your accounts from the old Switch to the new Switch. And I thought to myself, I actually asked some people, I was like, guys, why is this news? Why is this headlines? We heard about this like 2 years back? A year back? Like, we heard it recently, we seen it recently. I remember, I think it was maybe 2020 or 2021. People saw that graph because it was in an investor briefing as well. People saw the graph and said, new Switch hardware, new integrated hardware, software, whatever, 20XX. So yeah, we have the release date, 20XX. Mark it on your calendars, 20XX. But yeah, this is a news, and if the new successor is a hybrid like this, I would be very surprised if backwards compatibility was not included, or was not a feature. Well, I actually was listening to the Nate the Hate podcast yesterday, and what he and MVG were saying was that backwards compatibility could be the case, it could happen, it could be like something that is there in the new Switch, but it also couldn't. So it shouldn't be like clear-cut, set in stone that backwards compatibility will happen. Because Nate the Hate brought up a really good point that he uses the same PlayStation Network account since the PS3, but when he transitioned to the PS4, he couldn't play the same games. So that raises a good question. What's gonna happen with this successor? Well, yes, the accounts will transition over. That is good. The Nintendo Network stuff was silly, it was annoying, it was stupid, and I didn't like it. I really have to think about this. If my Nintendo account, my Niche Quick account, transfers over to the next Switch, I would love to re-download some of my old games on the Switch too, like Fire Emblem Three Houses. If I want to play it on my next Switch, I will hopefully be able to re-download it because it's a digital game. Same goes for all the indie games and the smaller, lower budget games I got on the eShop, which I may not have time to play on this Switch because Switch 2 is coming soon, maybe. Yeah, what if I just don't have a chance to play it on this Switch? Might as well just play it on the next Switch. Just go to the eShop and re-download it, right? That would be so easy. But another thing I would want to do is put my physical games into the new Switch and possibly, hopefully, maybe get updates, upgrades in performance and visuals and all that. Because I remember when I first got my PS5, it's sitting right below me right now. That's why I'm pointing to it. Right when I got my PS5, I remember people saying, hey, if you get Ghost of Tsushima, you can play it at 60 FPS, which you couldn't do on the PS4. So I was like, whoa, that's cool. So I played it at 60 FPS even before the director's cut came out. And then I remember other people saying, oh, if you play Dark Souls 3, you'll get 60 FPS. If you play Sekiro, you'll get 60 FPS. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's utilizing the power to give performance to older games. Maybe it's not a next generation PS5 version, but with backwards compatibility, you can get boosted performance. And I hope to see that possibly with Switch games like Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, Tears of the Kingdom at 60 FPS. Just imagine, that would be so cool. And maybe other games like Astral Chain. Astral Chain would be perfect with better visuals. I mean, Astral Chain already looks good, but imagine Astral Chain looking better and at 60 FPS. That would be fantastic. So I'm really hoping for something like that. So let's see, what else is on the list? Performance. Performance and misinformation. This is gonna kind of go hand in hand. So when people always come to me and say, hey, Niche Quick, when's this new Switch coming out? Like, what's it gonna be? How powerful is it gonna be? Like, is it gonna be like a PS5? I always tell them, keep your expectations in check. Nintendo always likes to do, I wouldn't say the bare minimum, but they kind of don't prioritize performance to keep the console more affordable and keep it, like, widely accessible for people in terms of price and for developers in terms of, like, creating games on it and stuff, right? I always tell people, don't get your expectations too high. I remember people saying, we will get 4K 60 FPS on this Switch. I have to say, I highly doubt it. 60 FPS will probably be a priority that they go for. I don't really know about the 4K and 60 FPS thing, because let's go into some of the misinformation stuff, because there was this whole FTC Activision stuff is happening. The only thing I'm paying attention to with this stuff is the Switch news. Funnily enough. Yes, Xbox is fighting for their right to get Call of Duty on Game Pass, but all I care about is what Bobby Kotick has to say about the Switch 2. And what did he say? He didn't really say much, because I remember people saying, putting headlines, Switch 2 will have the power of the PS4, Switch 2 will have the power of 8th gen, Xbox One, all that. And some people even came to me and said, hey, what do you think about this? And I said, I think it's a nothing burger, because if you read his quote, he doesn't say anything about it. He said something along the lines of, with our ability and experience for developing for Gen 8, we can do good with the Switch 2 or something like that, right? And then he even says that they don't even have a dev kit. They don't even know the specs. So yeah, nothing burger. But my point is, I really hope it is at least on par with Gen 8 consoles. I really hope it is at least on par with that kind of realm of tech and performance and visuals and all that. But I also do firmly believe, I do hope, I do feel that this whole AI upscaling DLSS FSR thing will give it a little bit of a boost. So say hypothetically we get a Switch 2 with the performance of a PS4. With AI upscaling, I hope it can do consistent frame rates, it can have a dynamic high resolution when it comes to games, and honestly, like, I'm one of those people who says consistency is better than high performance. So like, Xenoblade and Zelda running at mostly consistent 30 FPS is good. I like that. I would prefer that over a game that tries to hit 60 but is like going all over the place and not really hitting it as much. But I would also love to see what a lot of these Nintendo Switch games could look like with high resolutions, could feel like with a consistent 60 FPS, and especially like the bigger games. Like, I always bring up Xenoblade and Zelda because they are the bigger games. Pokemon, I don't know. I really don't know. Because Pokemon can be one of those games that tries to hit 60 FPS and it just doesn't get there, you know? I really don't know how these games will look, feel, run. I really hope Prime 4 looks, feels, and runs good on a new Switch, and I hope it comes out on a new Switch, you know? I don't know. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. But anyways, let's move on. Recently, there was rumors and rumblings from a supposed credible leaker that people have dev kits. People in development studios or development studios themselves, they have dev kits. One that has been going around is, one rumor that is going around is saying that Mercury Steam in Spain has dev kits. And honestly, that would be pretty awesome if we get a new 2D Metroid on the new Switch. But here's the thing, I think it is believable that Mercury Steam would have a dev kit, which also means that Nintendo has had these dev kits for a while, and they've been making games, and things are gonna come out. Things are starting to prep for a possible announcement. And people ask me, I ponder, I wonder, when is this coming out? When are we getting this? When are we going to refresh the Walmart and Amazon pages for pre-orders for this? When is it happening? Here's the thing. I am very wary and careful with Nintendo rumors and Nintendo speculation. I enjoy it. It's fun. I love Nintendo. But when Nintendo does patterns, they're always unpredictable. Sometimes you can be like, oh, a direct is going to be announced today because it is a Wednesday at this time of the year, and maybe it just won't happen, right? It is usually kind of like that. But here is the patterns that I am seeing in other people like Andres Restart, Nintendo Prime, Player Essence, so on and so forth. Like, these people who are active in the Nintendo community, we're seeing a kind of winding down for software. We saw in the last Direct, we got some really good games. But the 2024 games are remasters, re-releases, smaller budget games. I mean, not to say that they're bad. I'm really excited for this Peach game, by the way. Like, it looks really cool. But it's not on the level of your Tears of the Kingdom, Xenoblade, Pokemon, Mario, like 3D Mario, I mean. Even Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder looks fantastic, but it's not your, like, AAA Nintendo kind of thing, you know? You know what I mean? Things are winding down. That is my point. Things are winding down, and it looks to be that way. But another thing is that, yes, we're, like, approaching year 7 of the Switch. Like, 7 years is going to be completed. And another pattern, I guess, people have noticed, and I've noticed as well, is that in August, there is going to be Gamescom. Gamescom is a very big event. It is like the E3 of Europe in Germany. And it's so cool. I've always wanted to go. Maybe one day I'll go. But yeah, whatever. That's besides the point. My point is, Nintendo hardly ever goes there. Nintendo usually doesn't go to a place like Gamescom. I remember during the pandemic and like during like a few like drier years for Nintendo Switch, people are like, oh, Nintendo is not at Gamescom, that's not good news, oh, the Switch is doomed, we're not gonna have games. Well, we know that that wasn't the case, but Nintendo usually doesn't go there. My point is, they go there when they have new things to show. They went there in 2019 for the Switch Lite, and they're going this year. The thing is, yeah, they're going for, I don't know, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. They're going for Smash Bros. Tournaments, Mario Kart tournaments, Splatoon tournaments. Yeah, it'll all happen. But what if we're in July 3rd right now? What if, just what if? I don't know anything. I'm just saying, what if we get a announcement this month in July? Just what if? I don't think it'll happen. What if we get an announcement in July and we get a possible, like, demo at Gamescom? I don't know. Like, wishful thinking, I know. And then that marketing is going on and on and on, and, like, it's being, like, marketed and hyped up, and yeah, Nintendo Switch 2, and then it releases early next year. But that's a very long marketing cycle, like more than 6 months. So I really don't know as well. Would it be announced now and released in the holiday? Yeah, but also no, I don't know, because like, what is the big game releasing with it? No Metroid Prime 4, no 3D Mario, no Zelda game. It would be a little weird to release it with Mario Wonder. It doesn't show off the specs and the performance and all that. So that's where my possibility kind of like comes to like a halt, and like, Nishquick, look at the reality of the situation. It won't be announced so soon. But yeah, I just think it's funny that every year we go into the year saying Switch 2 is gonna happen this year, it is going to be announced this year, and it doesn't happen. I just think it's kind of funny. It's like what I mentioned in my Metroid Prime 4 video. We always go into the new year saying Metroid Prime 4 will be announced this year, it's gonna happen this year, and then it doesn't happen. So what's going to happen? None of us know. We're just in a very weird, unprecedented time for Nintendo Switch, Nintendo discussions, and all that. I still think an announcement is potentially, like, possible this month. It would be cool. Like, a lot of people who are in the rumor mill are saying that July could be a possibility. I am not really in the rumor mill. I am in the small content creator mill, I guess. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. And I have said this in an older video, like I made this video in like January or February, but I want to reiterate my stance and say what I have to say once again. I love the Switch. I love the Switch. It is one of my favorite consoles ever. The thing is, I don't really need a next generation Switch. I would love a next generation Switch. But like, when it comes to wants and needs, I just want new games. I want good games to play on the Switch, and I've been playing that this year. Last year, the Switch has been eating up my time. If they release it and announce it when it's ready, that's all that I want. I don't want a rocky launch. I don't want a crazy launch where they don't know what's going on. And honestly, with this new investor briefing, I went back and read some of the stuff that President Furukawa was saying, and they're really looking into making this work, and making it work smoothly, and making it happen smoothly and all that. Because, like, we want proper stock for this. Like, we don't want scalpers taking all the Switch 2s. Please, no more scalpers. Please, not a PS5 situation again, please. And not only that, I want there to be good games at launch, with like a good launch lineup, which shows off the specs and the performance and what you can do and all that stuff. And another thing I want is I want Nintendo to have a smooth transition. Everyone is saying that the Switch should have a smooth transition from this generation to next, meaning games are still coming out until the next system, and then they're like cross-generational, backwards compatible, all that. So it's smooth. So if people don't want to immediately upgrade, they can wait it out and still play some of the new games and still play their old games. And if people want to upgrade on day one, they can play the new games and the old games and any game. But the big thing is to have a stream of software and games coming, because remember the Wii U? Remember the Wii U drought? Remember the Wii drought after Skyward Sword, or even before Skyward Sword? Yeah, yeah, that was an interesting time to be a Nintendo fan. Like, Nintendo doesn't want these droughts anymore. They don't want a span of time where they're hyping up their next system, but their previous system, or the system which will possibly be backwards compatible with the next system, isn't getting any games. So, like, that's a problem for Nintendo. That's a sad reality for us Nintendo fans as well. So I hope that doesn't happen. Also, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, overall, I am optimistic. I am also a little nervous, but in the end, if it has good games, if the games are good, if the games come out, if the launch is smooth, and all of that, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. And I hope for the best. I just want Metroid Prime 4, man. I just want Metroid Prime 4 on even this Switch. Like, if I can't get a Switch 2 on day one, if it's a cross-gen game, I'll get it on here. Like, please. Please. Anyways, I've rambled on for very long. Let's see. It's been more than 20 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it short over here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching till the end, if you're watching till the end. If you enjoy content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, share this with your Nintendo friends, and spark a conversation down below. This was just me sprouting my thoughts from my head and just kind of like rambling about what I want, what I'm experiencing, what I'm seeing, what I'm hoping for a Switch 2. And let me know in the comments below, when do you think this is coming? Do you think this is coming? How do you think it'll perform? How do you think the games will look? And when is the announcement? Is it this month? Is it next month? What's happening at Gamescom? All that. I have some friends going to Gamescom, and I told them if the Switch 2 is there, to give me all the juicy details on everything, but also I would hate for them to stand in the line for like 3 hours and just get to play like 10 minutes of a game, so yeah. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think of all of this. Thank you so much for watching. This is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day. Go play some great games today, like a game on the Nintendo Switch. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nishquick. Thank you so much for watching that video, and if you enjoyed it, check out these two videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and see you later.